3 or more possible solutions. When I was a young editor at IDG Books, there were only 3 of us, and so my boss was the editor-in-chief, right? And he didn't have the luxury of being a leader that could devote most of their time to leading and guiding and inspiring me. So he said, look, I'm busy, you're busy, I know you're going to come up with issues. So when something comes up, I want you to think about 3 or more possible solutions before you come and talk to me. And it was the most creative thing for me to do that, because a problem or issue would come up and I'm like, no, I can't go talk to Mac about that yet. I got to think of 3 or more possible solutions. So as I came up with those solutions, I was actually really developing my creativity. And then when I would go and sit down and talk with him about it, we already have some ideas to work with, and we'd come up with the right solution at the right time, and it wouldn't take nearly as long. He wouldn't have to spend his creative energy trying to solve my problems. Making agreements is likely one of the most important conversation tools you could ever use, because agreements are the foundation for work and work processes. And again, this is a planning process. There's a saying, plan soonest, decide latest, and know when to decide. When you make agreements and you put things in writing and everybody agrees, yes, we're using this language, I understand what these words mean, I'm committing to doing this, when, here, and how, and whatever, when you know things are going to change anyway, but you can go back to the agreement as the foundation for the conversation instead of saying, oh, why did you make a mistake, or we have to blame you for this, or all those old ways of dealing with things that happen. But agreements, again, are a foundation for ongoing conversations about projects, and of course they're going to need amendments along the way. At the very core of the Fractal organization, the most important conversation tool is the shared vision. Why are we here together? What are we doing? What is our purpose? What is it about what we're doing that attracts people to our organization? You know, a lot of organizations just hire bodies in spots. You need a job, okay, come take a job. And yet they don't even know if what they're doing is has heart and meaning for the person that they're hiring. This is probably one of the most important things in the hiring process, is to find out why what you're doing is interesting to the person who's interviewing with you. The formula for shared vision, the Fractal Organization formula, is Z equals Z squared plus C, where C is the constant in the equation. C is the shared vision. With a shared vision, you're always going to get a similar pattern. The Z is a variable. It's anybody in the organization is a Z. The squaring of the Z is leadership. That's when you devote time, attention, mentoring, guidance to people, you amplify them. There's power in the Z squared. And beautiful patterns emerge as a result of this. This is from the Mandelbrot set, which is the most famous of all the fractal patterns. It's got all of the variables in the equation that stay connected to each other. There's no fractions in this one. And as you can see, they're not all exactly the same, but they do have a similarity, and they allow for creativity within, again, a constant that keeps everybody moving toward a collective goal. So in fractal organizations, leaders are enablers of information and resource flows. They help information and resources flow at the right time to the right people in the right place. They do this by reducing noise through these conversation tools. What is noise? Well, the biggest noise is misalignment of intentions. That's where usually personal agendas are more important than a collective goal. We're not on the same page. We don't have the same intention. That's noise in the environment. Diction and other errors. Diction is an error, a noise that can be reduced through making agreements. Other errors are simply mistakes that get made. Fear and entropy. What's fear? Fear of the past repeating, or uncertainty of future resources and how things are going to unfold. And entropy is the environment that emerges when people stop trusting each other and they stop sharing information, and the whole situation becomes entropic. It just turns into goo. And then speed loss or time lag. That's when information doesn't get there at the right time. You have speed loss. And so the information got there too late to do something about it. And this is what happens in dramas. In comedies, the characters figure out what's going on in time to do something about it. So the qualities that leaders practice that keep information flowing and that they encourage their staff to to work with also, they guide their staff to openness, openness to other people's perspectives, openness to their information, openness with your perspective, openness with your information, honesty about your feelings. Hey, are we really going in the right direction here? Generosity of time and resources. Of course, you don't have to be too generous. Sometimes too much generosity is not the right thing. So just enough generosity, and respect for other people's time and resources, respect for your own time and resources, and commitment to the best outcome. And so in fractal organizations, when you combine leadership that has this ability to keep information flowing through these kinetic qualities, you can really build a foundation of trust, appreciation, and willingness to participate in the process and work toward best outcomes. And so in fractal organizations, you can see how information flows easily in both directions, toward the center from the environment where everybody's interacting with the things and processes, the customers, the partners, suppliers, and vendors. All that information flows into the center of the organization, where now the core leaders at the center of the organization can be more resourceful. They have more information to act on about what kind of resources they need to contribute to different efforts, where the synergies are in the organization for sharing resources, how to use resources in a timely fashion so that there's no time lag or speed loss or misuse or waste of resources. This is really the big key now, is how can we move forward in our world, create a world where we are not wasteful, we are building things and not destroying them, and we are living in a more harmonious and happy environment. Thank you.